part 2, so welcome back, guys. Let's continue, shall we, guys?
Oops. As part of what we're doing,
I said guys twice.
Well, we have a contract between us, which is covered by these terms and conditions, which I'll tell you about. General conduct that.
So in this part, we will see them talking about the contract and they're going to and the guys follow one from each other. So yeah.
You're responsible to have a license, and we check your eyesight. I'll check the paper bit.
Now, if you remember in the last part, I told you guys about how many times I passed my theory test and how many points you need, etc. I want to tell you in this part that when I was doing my driving license, I started in a manual car, but I did struggle like getting the biking point and you know like yeah, you know what I mean. And I remember it was 3 days before me and my family went on holiday to Cornwall. Me, Nan, and my driving instructor at the time, because whether it was to learn in an automatic car. Now, the automatic car is much more easier than a manual car, because for an automatic car, you only have the brakes, the gas pedal. You don't have a clutch, so you're left like 10 to your hour and relax. And then you go to a C, and on that, I think you go people par, for reverse and etc. And if you pass your practical driving test with an automatic car, you can't drive a manual car. That's the law. See, I've got good memory. I know what I'm talking about most of the time.
That doesn't count. It's on the grounds of safety. We'll always talk about that well in advance so that we can move the test if we need to, so you don't lose your test fee. The DSA cancel tests in bad weather, that kind of stuff. We're starting this time of year. Probably by the time we get to test time, the weather's going to maybe start turning. So if it's snowy, they'll just move it. They will give you another test though. I ask that you're as punctual as you can be, and I'll try and do the same. But stuff happens. You get caught in traffic. You know, you're on the bus coming home from work and it's stuck. Again, if you let me have as much notice as you possibly can. With any of this stuff, I'd rather we spoke about it than it was text message, because text message you never really know. Now, if you haven't got any credit.
Oh no, I've always got credit.
Alright, I was going to say, if you hadn't, you could just send me a text and then I'll ring you. Yeah. So if you're on contract, you're alright. Learn our comfort and safety. While I'm beside you, you'll always be safe. Doesn't matter what happens, nothing's bad's going to happen to you. We ask though that you wear sensible shoes and clothes, so that you're not impeding your ability to drive. If you have a complaint about anything that I've done or said, flag it up, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. If I can't deal with it, then you can then write into LDC, who will then write back and say, received your complaint, we're going to put that forward to the instructor and ask him for his point of view. Yeah. And we'll always try and give you a time frame. Sorry you've got a problem with that. Okay, we'll try and sort this out within 7 days, normally 7 days. I would hope that we could work it out between us. So that's the sort of the dry terms and conditions bit. The bit that matters to me is this bit on this side. I've called it a coaching contract, but what I'd like us to do is to decide what we want from each other, and what, more importantly, what we don't want. For me, it's dead simple. I'd like my learners to commit to the process, to do their best at all times.
Do their best?
And to talk to me. How about you?
That's what people can do, to do their best.
What do you want, or do you not want?
Well, I know you probably wouldn't anyway, but not raise your voice.
Right, that's
that irritates me.
Good. It's an important one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nobody wants shouting at, do they? Now, it's an interesting one that you raised there, because sometimes I might need to give you a command to do something. Break.
Yeah.
That can sometimes feel like shouting. It isn't.
Yeah.
But if I've given you that kind of command and you feel a bit like, well, tell me.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why I do
I
it.
don't mind if you say it sharply, but
Sure.
it's like if you're angry when you say it, that's what I don't like, is when, you know.
Okay. What else?
What else?
Would it be alright if I tutted when you made a mistake?
No.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that, does it?
Yeah.
No tutting or sighing or any of that. I'll do that. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, no tap, no tapping.
It's surprising.
I know you can hear that.
Getting up.
Oh, God.
Stop it.
But it's surprising how annoying that sort of stuff can be, and we don't always. What I can promise you is that I'll try and be aware of my body language at all times, that I'm not doing that kind of stuff. If I feel that we're not making the progress I want us to make, I'll just say, okay, this ain't working.
Yeah.
What else can we do? Because I want you involved in the process as much as we possibly can. But can you think of anything else? You can add to this list later if you come up with other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
Probably fidgeting, you know, like
yeah.
every 2 minutes if I'm trying to concentrate.
It's going to be a long list, isn't it? Obviously, the professional end of things is taking care of you. You know, you've got to assume that I'm going to do the job right. I'll always do my best to do that. But like anybody else, I make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes too. All that matters is that we learn from them. Now, I'll stick my signature on there. You stick yours on it. What I'd like to happen is that if there's something that happens that you're not happy about, that we flag it up, and then we can then put it on the list, and then we'll say it again. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so. Maybe just how long are lessons normally? Because I don't know. You know.
Well, we would normally do a 2-hour session.
Yeah.
Does that fit in with
Yeah, should
what
do,
you
'cause
want?
I've got full days off, so.
Brilliant. What I'd like to do, possibly, is, and we're going to review it as we're going along, to get through the theory, what we should then maybe think about doing is get a practical test booked, and then just work backwards.
And then have like a goal for
However
each
many it
sort of
needs.
thing. Yeah.
We're helped in this regard because you're off.
Holiday, you can hear the dogs barking.
Brilliant. We can always, of course, if it's not quite going according to plan, we can move the test.
Yeah.
Or we can put more lessons in. Or we can ramp up our efforts, or whatever it
Yeah.
happens to be. But if we've got the test,
You've got a goal to aim for something.
yeah, you do, and it does keep your mind on the job at hand. So it's start with have a look at the workbook. If you can, have a look at the first 5 lessons, and do the quiz for those. You've got my number in the book. If there's any issues with, and my email address, if there's any issues with any of it, just give me a shout. Let's look at now. I'm away until. On Friday. Come back on the 4th. Do you know when you're working? That'll be the 5th and the 6th of September, wouldn't it? No, it's the 4th and the 5th. When's the Thursday? Yeah, 5th and 6th. Do you know if you're working those? That's
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
is the 6th 3 weeks today.
3 weeks.
Can I get back to you on that?
Of course you
my
can.
Calendar.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've got 6 classes when I'm on and off.
Right.
So I'll just get us.
If you could let me have a
Give you
copy
a
of that,
yeah.
or an idea of. You said there was a pattern.
Yes,
When I was
that's
talking before.
cycle.
All right.
Just trying to remember 3 on, 3 off, 3 on, 3 off.
Fine.
And count it.
Well, we'll work that out between us. But if you can look at the first 5, and we'll look to just get cracking on that. We will spend. Have you got any friends that are learning to drive?
No, I don't think so, not yet anyway.
On these first 3 lessons, we're going to spend more time on that than you might do if you were with somebody who wasn't using this system. Because what tends to happen is most instructors do getting moving, moving off and stopping, and then they're straight onto doing basic junctions. Well, when you're negotiating junctions, being able to steer, being able to change gear properly, and having good clutch control is all part of
My
that.
boyfriend, he says don't pick up bad habits because like, you're supposed to always have two hands on the steering wheel. You're not supposed to cross over, are you? And he keeps saying.
Well, it's you don't fail your test for that now. No, it's not something that we don't normally talk about tests.
A few years ago, I needed his like, but.
Yeah, I do the shuffle thing, but.
And can you like crossing over and all this lot and all that.
Can you think of a reason why you wouldn't do that? Any idea?
Well, because you're stretching more.
Could be a bit, but any idea where most accidents happen? Round about junctions.
Yeah,
So, and what are you doing at junctions? And if you have an accident, what happens to the airbag? If your hand's there. Sorry, it's the best reason for not doing it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be breaking your own nose. You may want to break mine, but not yours. So we'll get our heads together for the date of the first session. Let me know how you're getting on with it. But any questions before we let you head on home?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
Right.
If you have any, like I said, just give us a shout. Thanks for coming in to see us.
So there you go. Let's see. I got another week. Okay. I don't really know if I can click on my phone. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the 2 poll reaction video. And I'm going to end it here. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Leave a like, comment, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @positivevibes23, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. Bye now.